discussed here tonight, and then we'll open it up for additional questions. I think most of you know, especially I recognize a lot of folks from LC Basin, the importance of the riparian resources and what they provide not only for fish and wildlife, but also for humans, flood storage, property, aesthetics, fishing, recreation, all those great things.
Could you please speak into the mic?
Yeah, I'll get a little bit closer here, sorry. So I got to work the slideshow at the same time. I'll try to do both. Another thing that we're dealing with locally is specific to the Willamette Basin is water quality impairments. We have some agency staff from DEQ. If you want to get into some of the details tonight, I'm sure they'll be able to help us out. But in a nutshell, there are some requirements to protect riparian vegetation to meet the total maximum daily load requirements, which are the water quality requirements within the Willamette Basin. This has been a requirement for the TMDL in the Willamette Basin since it was adopted, I think, in 2005. That's also not only for temperature, but for bacteria, slowing down surface flows, keeping runoff on the properties to have it infiltrate as best as it can. It's one of the requirements from the state in our total maximum daily load implementation plan. Currently, there's several larger streams in the county that have water quality impairments based on work that the State Department of Environmental Quality has completed. Several for temperature. Temperature is a widespread issue on Oregon streams. There's argument around, is this accurate? Is this not accurate? Dueling experts, but as far as the state DEQ is concerned, there are some issues out there, and having vegetation on the stream improves temperature because it can prevent heating on the streams. I'm going to try to raise this here. Here we go. So why did we start doing this as staff? Back in 2007, there was a update to the Benton County Comprehensive Plan. One of the adopted goals was to preserve aquatic system riparian areas specifically, and also to better identify locally significant wetlands and protect their natural functions. Specific to the riparian and wetlands project, we were tasked with undergoing this Goal 5 inventory or process, and then coming up with a protection program, proposed protection program. These have been implemented across different counties and jurisdictions since planning rules have been put into effect. Folks such as yourself that are landowners, we have agency folks attend. Sometimes it's all voluntary, all public meetings. We meet once a month to discuss how we're going to go forward to meet this goal that was adopted, which I'll get into here. Greg mentioned that we've been definitely taking the input seriously at the community meetings where it's possible with the goals in the project. Early on, there was a lot of concern from folks in the Alsea Basin that there was this idea that we were lumping the Alsea Basin and the Willamette Basin as having the same issues when it comes to water quality, or having the same type of resources when it comes to riparian wetland resources. And so we made a very clear distinction in the inventory to say, okay, there's the Alsea Basin and then there's the Willamette Basin. There's different goals in each for this project. And also a lot of folks that wanted just more information, more resources on what are some voluntary financial, technical resources for landowners with riparian wetland resource on their property. We pulled a lot of that together in the current inventory, and we also have it online on project website if you want to go there and learn about how to deal with non-native species on your property, or where to get some funding to get tax credits if you have riparian wetland resources, or if you want to do some sort of enhancement of the resources on your property. So trying to make that a little bit easier for folks. Also, when it comes to this overlay zone code, there was additional exemption people wanted, such as hazard tree removal, trimming of vegetation without total destruction of the riparian vegetation, and having different requirements for the Alsea and Willamette, which I'll touch on and we'll get into in quite detail, especially when it comes to the water quality regulations from the Department of Environmental Quality. There's definitely a lot more currently in the Willamette Basin. There's an adopted total maximum daily load implementation plan, which if you want to get into the details on that, I'll be happy to chat with you about that. People have their frustrations with the science behind that, but it is something that was adopted, and that process is going to occur at some point, I would imagine, here pretty soon in the Alsea Basin. This is some examples before I get into the code. You can use this as a starting point. These are some of the current counties that have riparian resources related protection code, and have had it for quite some time in some cases, since 1980.
Wayne County does not have.
They actually do.
No, they do not. They defeated it last November at the Board of County Commissioners.
That's correct. And prior to that, they still had something in their code around, and they still do in riparian.
They've deleted all of that.
They've deleted it all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll have to check on that.
Go right ahead.
It's still in place. It's deleted. We'll have to go with the tie on that, I guess. I think the point here is that there's several counties that have gone through a similar process. I just want to make a note that we're not the first ones to do this. That's the simple point of this slide. Something else here, and this is covered in the brochure, I think, in some of the materials, is definitely covered in the draft code that you have with you. What we're proposing for the Willamette Basin versus Alsea Basin, again, because of the adopted TMDL water quality requirements in the Willamette Basin, we have proposed additional riparian vegetation protection for perennial streams that aren't fish-bearing, whereas in Alsea we've focused more in on the fish-bearing streams, so we can comply with our Goal 5 natural resources requirements. So currently, and this is spelled out in the draft code as well, currently there is 25 to 50 foot setbacks for any new structures when it comes to streams. And also, if you're within the Corvallis urban growth boundary, they've gone through